Let them speak. Review hours 1 to 35. To see this video podcast, use any of these free apps. Please repeat or answer. Wow, is that ever a big fish? Does he use that hook so that he can move it easily? Did they pack it in ice before it happened to get to him? How much do you see that fish weighs? What is it that he's using to finish washing the fish so it's cleaner? Will two people be able to lift it up onto the wooden table you see there? Is that the knife he plans on using to cut up the fish? Is he about to start cutting up the fish now? Does he plan on cutting off the head first before cutting up the rest of the fish? Is that what you would have done had you been there to help him? Has he got to use both hands on the knife to cut through the head? How long will it take him to cut the head off? What does he keep wiping off the knife for? Would that be something that you can put in a good soup? How come they use a wooden table to put the fish on at the time they're cutting it up? Do you wish that he would teach you how to do that? Where is it that he'll be set to cut next? Did you notice that he's got to push down hard so that the fish doesn't move around while cutting? Is he pulling it back so that it is easier to cut with the knife? Is there someone else that's going to come and help him do that? Did he ask him to hold the side of the fish he's cutting until he finishes cutting it? Did he ask that guy to bring that wooden board to lay the piece he just sliced? How does that all look now? I bet that they'll throw that away after cutting it. That must be the most expensive part of the fish he'll be able to sell. Have you got any idea where it is that he decided to carry the fish he just cut up? I imagine that he'll continue cutting up the other side of the fish now. Does it make any difference if he starts cutting at the head first? Can you tell if the guy walking up is thinking of trying to help him cut some of it? Do they seem to be talking a lot to each other? Isn't the guy who came to help him supposed to be wearing some kind of gloves? How long has he been cutting up the fish so far? Have you figured out what type of fish he has there? Did he ask him to bring another board to put what he just cut? Does it look as big as the last one that he cut and took away? Is that where you would start cutting next had you been there? Does it seem like he's cutting off the top of some of the bones? Are you surprised that the bones seem to be so easy to separate from the meat? Do you think that he has ever cut his hands while using the knife like that? Do the gloves he wears keep his hands safe from being cut? Do you use gloves like you see him using when you go to cut fish in your kitchen? Do you find that you feel uneasy while you see him cutting using that knife? Is what he's cutting now something that you can use to make soups with? Is he trying to make sure that he doesn't end up cutting away any of the good meat they can sell later? Does he ever know how to cut that up well? Don't you wish that you could do it as well as he does it? Have you figured out which side of that fish would be more expensive to buy? Was the wooden board brought there big enough to fit the fish? Is that something he'll be throwing away? Do they even save the meat around the bones so that they use them later? He sure is impressive the way he handles those knives. How long do you think it's taken him to be able to do this like this? Has he left so he can go to take a short break? How come he's decided to put it in there instead of putting it on a piece of wood? Will they be sending it someplace else to be cut up? This must be the same fish he cut up before. Is he wrapping up what he just cut? Did he manage to weigh the fish right before he began wrapping it up? Is that where we just saw that guy cutting up the fish? I wonder what they're going to be doing with that. Does it make any difference whether they kept on the skin or not? All he did was cut it in half. Will he keep slicing it up like that until it is all done? Is he making sure to cut the meat away from the skin while he's doing it? Does it seem to be easier to handle the meat without using gloves? Which one of those pieces would you like to bring home so your mom could prepare it? Do you wish you could have asked him to have one of the ones he just cut? Does that ever make me feel hungry? Aren't you afraid that he's going to begin to cut himself while doing that? Will he be doing the same things to each of the pieces that he just did before? Is he cutting off some of the meat that isn't as good as the rest? Could they do that with a machine instead of cutting it by hand? How does it look to you? Did you ask him to cut it up into small pieces so you could eat it later? Are you used to eating fish like that? How much do you think that much would cost? Is that seaweed he's using to make something to eat? Doesn't it appear that he is putting too much on it? Is he going to be putting sliced vegetables he made before on it? Do you like the way he's doing it? Is that the sauce he'll be putting on top of what he just prepared? Boy, that sure does look delicious. Would you please get me some chopsticks? What would you start eating first? Would you ask him to get a Heineken for you to drink with it? Here we go. Close your eyes. Why is it that they put it there? Will it taste better with that on top of it? Are you set to try some now? Is it time to try another piece after having that first one you had? Is someone else there that you'll be sharing some of that with you? Who would you like to invite to enjoy eating this with you? Would they enjoy it as much as you? Did you ask him to cut it up bigger now that you know how good it tastes? What powder did you ask him to put on it? Will it help it to taste better? What type of oil would you have used if you had been there? Should they have put the gas up that high? How long is he leaving it on each side while he's doing this? Does he even end up doing the sides? Has he got to hold them with the chopsticks so it doesn't fall over? They even do the ends. Now that they've done that, what do you think they're going to be doing? Does it look like it's well done? Is he thinking of slicing all of the pieces that way? You see, he did the first one. How many pieces will he wind up cutting into sizes like that? Would you be able to eat it just like that if you wanted to? How great is that? Is that the plate he'll be serving all of that on? If your mom had made that for you, would you have been shocked? I couldn't help but being shocked. Will the tomatoes tend to make it more delicious? That knife must be really sharp to cut those like that. What else could he put on that to make it look even better? Can you tell if that is a sweet sauce or not? Isn't this making you hungry? What a masterpiece. Here we go. Open your mouth and close your eyes. Why is it that he's taking so long to give it to you? Couldn't you eat it without the vegetables if you were really anxious to try it? Is that one of the tomatoes that he just cut up a while ago? Would it taste better than the one with the tomato we just saw? I don't care what they put on it. It should all taste perfect. Why don't we all go out for a drink together now? I'll treat you.